How's it going, crypto community? This is Jade, the XRP Martian, back with another crypto video, the second of the day. I know I put out a video like way earlier today. You're probably all wondering, why didn't you put out very many videos? Sorry, I'm still kind of struggling with whatever's going on. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm super exhausted the past few days. In this video, I'm going to go over Moon Lambo's video, actually. He just posted this. And the video he posted was proof XRP to be used by the Bank of America in patent ? And I should have known that the question mark meant that he was going to debunk it. But it was interesting because he started off talking as if this was legitimate, right? And he starts off by sharing Cryptopolis's tweet. And this is really what got me going down the rabbit hole, right? Now, Moon Lambo tries to somehow debunk this or deny. I guess what Moon Lambo is doing is inserting uncertainty because he doesn't have any evidence for saying that this isn't using XRP, to be completely frank. And that is not an insult to Moon Lambo. It is simply me stating that Moon Lambo in this video does what I, admittedly, have done in at least my first video on this subject. And that is that I didn't read the patent. I didn't read it. I just looked at the pretty picture. And when I tried to read the patent the other day, and again, I think maybe because I was sick, it was just gobbledygook, right? It's just gibberish to me. And so I was like, I'll just leave it to everybody else to deal with. I'll cover that it's a thing, and y'all can decide whatever. No, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to use XRP, and I'm going to read for you from the patent to show you how this is actually going to use XRP, right? But before I do that, we need to give credit to Michael McDaniel and Cryptopolis, who brought this realization to the forefront of Moon Lambo, and then thus to me when I watched Moon Lambo's video, and that is that prior to June 8th, I believe it was, 2018, XRP was not a term. There was no such thing as XRP. XRP did not exist. Instead, what you had was Ripple Labs, and you had Ripples, which are the Ripple Ledger, and Ripple Labs, which is the company. And they also originally they used the Ripple logo as the icon for the XRP, what we now know as XRP. Now, obviously, as you have probably figured out just from listening to me try and explain this, you're like, wait, which Ripple, right? That's why they changed it from the coin from being called Ripple to being called XRP, for the ability to keep conversations clear about who they're actually talking about. And also, I honestly think it was less so to do with security, the potential of XRP being labeled as security, and more so to do with it just being really confusing to try and talk about Ripple and Ripple, right? So what's interesting, though, is when you come over to the patent, you'll realize that this patent was created in March. Oops, let me hover over here so you can see for a second. It was created and filed rather on March 26th, 2018. At least 2 months. That means that all the stuff in here was created at least 2 months before the name change of XRP, or of Ripples to XRP. Now, also, what's interesting is, as Moon Lambo points out in his video, that the XRP logo is right there, or the Ripple logo is right there. It's showing a Ripple coin right there. And it says there was this typo. Everybody is saying that this was a typo in the patent. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a patent. You pay a lot of money for a patent, a lot. I think it's like $50,000 nowadays. $50,000. You're not gonna go grab a patent, and have a typo in it that could essentially devoid your patent, right? And so why is there an L at the end of Ripple? Because they're talking about the Ripple Ledger, the Ripple Ledger ILP. Ripple Ledger Interledger Protocol is facilitating this transaction of the Ripple DLT, the Ripple Distributed Ledger technology, utilizing the ILP to transfer Ripple, to facilitate the transfer of an SGD between two banks, right? Now, here's the thing. If say, now in this example, right, they're showing, I don't know, we're going to say FI1, because that's what they call it here. Financial Institution 1 is transferring the Singapore dollar to Standard Chartered Financial Institution, right? Now, here's the thing. If they weren't using Ripple, XRP, the DLT, why would they even include this nonsense down here? Why would this whole section down here, where Financial Institution 1 pays into the Ripple DLT using SGD and facilitates that Ripple DLT transaction across the Ripple Ledger ILP to convert to the same exact thing and then move it to Standard Charter? If they're not going to use XRP or a distributed ledger technology, a distributed ledger in the center, why not just draw an arrow between the digital GL SDG and the, between, again, Financial Institution 1's SGD and Standard Charter's SGD? You don't need this step in here if you're not using a DLT. If you're just using Singapore dollars, you don't need these steps in here. That's irrelevant if you're only using one currency. Why do you have to have this insertion of, Ripple DLT if you're not going to use Ripple's DLT, which is nowadays known as XRP? Now, if that's not good enough for you, allow me to read directly from the patent here. Because again, as I said during the beginning, I didn't read the patent the first time through. I just looked at the pretty images and tried to discern what was going on based upon the what they're saying here in scenarios and benefits, right? No. Instead, we're going to now read directly from the claims made in regards to the patent. Now, the patent is for a system operatively connected with a blockchain distributed network and for using the blockchain distributed network for facilitating real-time net settlement, the system maintained by an entity and system comprising of, again, this just describes basically a basic computer, right? You need memory and a processing device. You need a CPU and you need a hard drive, right? Now, this will facilitate computer-readable programming code in order to receive at a node of a blockchain distributed network. Again, you're receiving an input to your network, your blockchain, to facilitate a transaction record associated with a transaction between a payer and a payee. You're facilitating a transaction between Financial Institution 1 and Standard Chartered Financial Institution using a DLT. Now, I'm going to keep going on. This video is only 8 minutes, so why not read through at least the whole process, right? So that no qualms, no argument can be made. Now, so we're using this system to facilitate payments between a payer and a payee, wherein the payer is associated with with a payer bank, and the payee is associated with a payee bank. What does that mean? They're saying that your payer is associated with a payer bank, aka Financial Institution 1. Your payee is associated with a payee bank, aka Standard Charter. Make sense? All right, let's move on to the next segment. I'm breaking this down elementary style because there's not going to be an argument about this anymore. We're done arguing about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is legitimate, right? So, after we have our payer and payee financial institutions engaging in this transaction, they're going to access a distributed ledger. Well, where in this diagram do they access a distributed ledger? Is it right here? Maybe here. No. Ladies and gentlemen, they're accessing the distributed ledger right here. And when they access that distributed ledger, wherein the distributed ledger is updated based upon communications from the blockchain distributed network. What is a blockchain distributed network if not a cryptocurrency or digital asset? That's what that is, right? Anybody that's been in the space for any kind of period of time realizes that You can't talk your way out of that box. You can't, like you're going to sound really conspiratorial, anybody out there, if you try and debunk that, right? Because that's just like blatant. That's just plain English for anybody that understands blockchain. So no, they're using a blockchain right there. It says right there, they're using a blockchain distributed network. 2, once again, determine from the distributed ledger a net position between the entity and a third party. The entity in question. Now, we'll read through this just to make sure that I don't mix this up. So this is to determine whether the transaction record is associated with the entity as a payer bank or a payee bank. And if the entity is a payer bank and the third party is a payee bank, debit the net position in the amount of the transaction. And if the entity is a payee bank and the third party is the payer bank, to credit the net position in the amount of the transaction. In other words, they're saying this system is going to confirm that these institutions want to engage in a payment and traverse and move funds between them. Wherein, or as it says here, thereby resulting in an update net position between the entities and the third party. What's the third party here? There's only, we have financial institution 1, payer, and we have financial institution 2, standard charter. Guys, who's our third? Oh yeah, the Ripple distributed ledger technology, Ripple technology, Ripple Ledger Interledger Protocol. There you go. So we're up over 11 minutes, and the idea, I'm going to leave you with this bang. All of this stuff that I just broke down, that whole little segment that I just broke down, right? That whole like 3 little short paragraph things. All of these are recorded and updated the net position on what? The distributed ledger. Not technology. It just says straight distributed ledger, right? And in fact, it doesn't say distributed ledger technology anywhere in this description. It straight says ledger. Distributed ledger. What distributed ledger? Ripple Ledger. Is any other distributed ledger shown in any of these diagrams? Any of them? No, ladies and gentlemen. There is only one ledger shown in this diagram, and that's the Ripple Ledger. It's over. This argument's done. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you are all losing your metaphorical crap right now because, you know, Jade decided that he's going to read. I decided that I should probably read because I had this opinion. This gut feeling that this was legitimately going to use XRP. And so, you know, I think that, you know, how better to prove that you're right than to go and read something proving you're right from the patent, right? Now, anybody who wants to think that maybe I'm just like leaving out some extra bits, if you think that there's something else here in the rest of this, I'll make a 2-hour video where we go through and break down every last thing in this because I did go through and read. Right, I did this before in my last video. I did a first take of this, but I decided that that's gonna be too long to actually go through and break down everything. So if you don't believe me, I will. I can put the link in the comments, and if you would rather just me do a video on it, you know, let me know, and I'll make a video for you guys that comes through and absolutely 100% proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that nothing in this debunks what I just read for you straight from the very first breakdown of how this distributed ledger is going to be implemented, right? And for those of you who are wondering what is in the rest of this, this is simply talking about how the system is going to ensure that the payer and the payee receive the actual amount that they wanted to send and that it's worth the right amount. It doesn't say anything in here where you can circumvent the distributed ledger. Nowhere in this is there a option even to circumvent the distributed ledger. It's all breaking down how these are going to be receiving. Again, this one, section 9 here is talking about a computer program product for using blockchain distributed network for facilitating real-time settlement, right? So this is going into, again, it's talking about how you're going to utilize this ledger within this architecture that they've created. So we're getting up there in the minutes. I want to finish this up before 15 minutes. So thank you all for tuning in to the XRP Martian Report. If you are new, please hit that subscribe, ring that bell, and if you enjoyed this video a lot and you enjoyed me breaking down, busting some unintentional FUD from Moon Lambo. I don't think he meant it as FUD. I think he's just trying to protect his credibility. So again, no, this is not an attack against Moon Lambo. I love Moon Lambo's content. Why do you think that I watched his video and found this in the first place, right? So thank you so much for Moon Lambo for providing this insight for me and really lighting a fire under my butt to actually go and do the reading and research necessary to validate this, right? So thank you all for tuning in. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video. Where else? On Mars.